Okay, I had originally made a longer version of this video addressing each individual point from Hillbilly and Antonio, but instead of letting these two geniuses walk me around to different shit, I'll just stick to the points. On Antonio's video, Antonio wanted to criticize the fact that both videos, mine and his, showed the umbra aligned with the sun, as it should be.
That's absolutely right. If only we'd done that in the video. Oh wait, we did. Should we compare? There's yours. And here's ours.
However, the only reason why I pointed this out was because Hillbilly stated in his opening minutes of the video,
so as we can see, if this node point here from the Earth to the moon's core, that represents the umbrum during an eclipse.
which since you showed in your rebuttal video that you guys actually did do the umbra correctly, you're actually contradicting Hillbilly's words, something you also omitted in your rebuttal video, but I guess that's to be expected. On Hillbilly's video, Hillbilly howled several times about people needing to check his math.
Let's see who's got the fuzzy math. I've already done the math. Even flat earth math says Hillbilly, you got the right math. Even this moron says I got the right math. So, since I got the right math, what doesn't this moron do?
Hillbilly, get it clear, bud. Nobody said your math was wrong for this demonstration. Nobody did. Not even me.
He says you used my math, huh? Well, why when I apply my math, it doesn't work?
Your scale is wrong. So therefore, your result is wrong. My entire video was about showing the model of the Earth and the Moon as they operate with your math, but to scale. This is not scale. This is not scale. This is also not scale. This would only be to scale
East Coast of the United States, West Coast. How many times did the United States pass that umbrum in one given 3-hour period? Let's go back and count that one.
If Earth were the size of Jupiter and the United States was the size of Uranus. And no, this is not the scale I used, which I explained in my fancy diagram description, which you obviously didn't read.
Earth in the center. Wonderful. That's Earth's umbra. That's actually Earth's shadow. Don't know why people keep calling it umbra. It is just the shadow bit. And there's the moon's orbit in that circle. That must be absolutely correct. And the sunlight, I take it, well, there you go. It comes in from the right. And the moon's orbit will be 30 Earth widths away. And look, we can see the speed of the two objects. Okay?
He showed all his fancy shit. Woo! Fancy! Research and spreading the truth, I'm a professional at, all right?
Now, both Antonio and Hillbilly know that they did not perform their demo to scale. Let me tell you why. In the opening of Antonio's video, he showed this gentleman, who in the complete video is describing that most diagrams in textbooks do not show scale distance, and only sometimes do they show scale size. I'll link this video below, y'all can watch it if you want to. Distance is also part of scale. Hillbilly, well, he outed his knowledge of the scale that he was not using by saying this.
Anyways, I told you, asshole, I was making a three-dimensional model. You wouldn't look so foolish if you would have waited. I got the orbit of the moon in there. I got the 150 miles. I got the perigee. I got the apogee of the moon, 225,000 miles as perigee, 251,000 miles as apogee. What do you got? You got some fancy artwork. What do you do? Work for NASA? My God.
So ultimately, they are both deliberately not using the required scale for their demonstration. Deliberately. So, and on to the last point. Both Hillbilly and Antonio picked up on this. When making my model, I was not sure how many times I was going to loop the action of my model, so I wanted to make it so that it could have a seamless loop. So yes, I rolled the Earth's rotation back by 115 degrees to match the completed orbit on the 27th day, instead of the 27.322 days. Because if I would have showed you this, and looped it, somebody would have cried foul there somehow because, see, it doesn't work, it doesn't, whatever your argument would have been. Now, Hillbilly and Antonio claim that this was to remove a duration of the eclipse, which is a frivolous claim at best, because the about 7.5 hours I rolled back, divided over the 27-day remainder, comes out to less than 15 minutes per day throughout the one moon orbit. But since this demo had nothing to do with the duration of the eclipse, but rather the shadow moving from west to east, this adjustment that I made only affects how long the shadow moved from west to east, and would not affect the fact that it actually happens. To be factual, if you adjusted the Earth's rotation all the way up to 54 Earth rotations per moon orbit, the shadow of the moon would still be going from west to east. I think it's about 56 rotations when it starts going east to west. So the minor adjustment I did for aesthetics was negligible. So in closing, Hillbilly and Antonio used the right math knowingly at an incorrect scale. Now, who does that make a liar? Oh, and by the way, Hillbilly claims to be a big enough man to admit when he's wrong.
Hillbilly don't mind being proved wrong. It's just one thing out of the way. I can move on to the next, right? I'm a big man. Let's see if the hillbilly's wrong.
Well, when you do finally come out with your 3D model to scale, as you claim it will be, I'll be waiting for that admission of having been wrong. Y'all have a nice day.
Oh my god, oh my god.